Hello, everybody. Hello, my friends. I wanted to talk to y'all today about sugar overload. And I wrote a new blog, and I'll put a link to that in the descriptions. Um, but sugar to me is enemy number one. And anybody that knows me knows I say that a lot. Um, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the sugar overload in summer. And I want y'all to imagine standing in a boat on the lake, and your boat starts filling up with water, and everybody on the boat just starts trying to bail out the water and throw the water out, get buckets, whatever you've got there to try to bail the water out. And that as the boat keeps filling up, I mean, people are frantically trying to get the water out. If you've ever been in a situation like that, you know you don't just piddle around and just little by little. I mean, you work hard to get that water out of the boat. And so picturing that, that's what I want you to think of when your body gets an overload of sugar. You know, our body can handle some sugar, and sugar is good. I mean, natural sugars, true sugars, those are good, and they help our brain, and they, feed our body and give us strength. But it's the sugar overload that is the problem. So whenever the body just gets too much, I mean, it's trying to uh, it has to work hard to get the sugar out of the blood and put it where it needs to go in the right cells, and it just can't keep up when we put in so much sugar. And so I like for people to be aware of really the dangers that sugar causes. And so really when you look at sugar itself, sugar that is in fruit, apples, oranges, pears, I would say those sugars are fine. But when you eat the pear or the orange or the apple, you're getting extra water, structured water, you're getting fiber, and you're getting all the other compounds that go along with the sugar. And so your body digests it more slowly, and it doesn't cause as much of a spike. But when you just drink like a can of Mountain Dew or Coke or whatever, then you are just getting straight sugar into your body. There's nothing to help mitigate it. There's nothing to help slow it down. And I'd like to point out here that the I can't remember now the title of it, the American Heart Association, they recommend it's 9 grams of sugar for men and 6 grams for women. And so, no, I got that backwards. I always get it backwards. Sorry. It's 39 grams for men and 36 grams for women. And that equals out to about 9 teaspoons for men and 6 teaspoons of sugar for women. So when you think about a can of pop, well, a can of pop can have 24 grams, and it could have uh, 39 grams of sugar. So you can see right there that we can't afford that. Our body doesn't have enough sugar credit to drink a can of pop. I mean, if you were to drink a can of pop, that would be all the sugar you should have for the whole day. And you know as well as I do that people don't limit it. So that's why we have the sugar overload, and that's why our bodies are working so hard to try to bail it out, trying to, calm down the storm. And so I just wanted to touch on that today, and just, I don't know, just kind of send a reminder that keep your sugar low, because sugar is the number one driver of disease, the number one driver of chronic illness. And, it's easy to just go to the store, buy whatever sounds good, whatever looks good, and just shovel it in. And we're not really thinking about the damage that it's doing. Kind of like on that sinking boat, if someone else comes and they get on the boat and bring a bucket of water and dump it on there. That's kind of what we're doing to our bodies. We're not helping the body at all. And so I would like to remind everybody, I know we know it. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. If I were to ask a random stranger on the street, do you know what sugar does to your body? They would say it's not good for you. We all know that sugar's not good for us, but it's so addictive. We are, every one of us, addicted to it. That's why we have to watch it so closely. Um, and also about summer, when I said I wanted to kind of touch on it for summer. Um, in summer, it's easy to reach for that can of pop, especially if it's in the ice chest and it's good and cold. We might want a sweet tea because that just seems like we could sit in the shade and drink our cold iced sweet tea. But when you drink a sugary drink, and that goes for sugary sports drinks as well, those are traps. Sugary sports drinks are traps. They advertise to help your electrolytes and to help you, to hydrate you, but you've got to watch that sugar because if it has a lot of sugar in it, you're defeating the purpose. So it would be better if you could, if you have to have tea, then make it unsweet. Do unsweet tea. That would be more refreshing anyway. Um, you could do iced water with peppermint leaves in it or lemon in it. There's some people I know like cucumber in their water. Just kind of put it in there and it diffuses the flavor. And cucumber is a very refreshing fruit. I think most people know that cucumber is very refreshing. Watermelon is refreshing and it has sugar in it, but it is a natural sugar that can be broken down with the fibers and the water that's in it. So those are some ideas. But peppermint or any mint really is cooling. So when you put peppermint in your water, it gives it a little bit of flavor and it's refreshing and cooling as it goes down. So those are a couple ideas there for drinks. I know there's other brands and that's what our phones are for. You know, you can get on there and you can search for sugar-free drinks or ideas, you know, there's lots of ideas and you can make your own refreshing fruit drinks and all of that. Just keep the sugar out because the fruit adds the sweetness. But I did want to touch on a couple other, I say couple, about four things. I was going to give you some simple swaps that you can make. And you know, when people are barbecuing outside or whatever, we might have hot dogs, we might have hamburgers, all those things. And we don't really think about the barbecue sauce or the ketchup or the mayonnaise. But sugar is added to so many things. And that's kind of my topic today is the added sugar. Natural sugars I'm not worried about. I don't think eating good old fruit and carrots and sweet potatoes is giving anybody cancer. That's not what we're worried about. It's the added sugar. And when you go to the store and you look at the back of any product you pick up, especially if it's jarred or packaged in some way, there's most likely sugar added. And so I would encourage everyone to learn to read the labels. And I'll probably talk about that on another video. And actually, I have an old one that I may link to in the descriptions of this one. But learning to read labels is so important because you can look at the front of a jar and think, oh, well, that looks good. It says gluten-free. It's got to be good. But I would say, you know, you can glance at the front and it gives you an idea of whether to even pick up the jar. But when you do pick up the jar, turn it over and look at the label, the ingredients, and the nutrition facts. But I would start with the ingredients. The ingredients are the main thing. And if sugar's up there at the top, you don't need it. But when you look at the facts, the nutrition facts, if it says so much sugar added or however many grams sugar added, that's the kind of thing you want to learn to get away from. So if there's natural sugars in it, like tomatoes have sugar in them, carrots have sugar in them, any vegetable has sugar in it. Lemons have sugar in them. So every fruit and vegetable has sugar in it. Some have more than others. You know, pineapple has a lot. Cucumber don't have very much. Celery don't have very much. Lemon doesn't have very much, but it has some. So the natural is fine. Just watch for those added. So anyway, you know, like peanut butter. Some people have their favorite brands, you know, but I like to use Smucker's Naturals brand. And if you're going to a natural food store, they have other options. There's always good options at Sprouts or Natural Grocers or whatever your health food store might be called. Those are great places to go. But I'm just kind of focusing on like Walmart or your basic local store. But most of them have Smucker's Naturals. And in that one, there's all that's in there is peanut butter, peanuts, and salt. So that's what you want to watch for. And then cereal. A lot of times it's easy to eat a bowl of cereal in the morning. Well, it's good to find a grain free if possible, but especially gluten free. But a lot of cereals, I mean, I could name them, but I guess I won't. So nobody can get mad at me. But a lot of them are like, when they say frosted, I mean, they are covered in sugar. They are baked with sugar. And so you want to watch out for those. But there, I did look online, and like I said, you can use your phone to search for stuff. That's what it's good for. But I did find there's a Grandy's and a Walla and a Paleo Nola. I actually have not heard of that one. And there's Three Wishes. I've heard of that one. And, some of them might be more familiar than others, but there's brands out there that you can find that have low sugar in them. So that's the brands you want to get used to buying. And there, like I said, there's a few options. So find something your family will eat and enjoy. And of course, I say stick with eggs and bacon or sausage myself. But if you got to have cereal, then pick the best kind. Okay, so ketchup on our hamburgers, on our fries, and all this stuff, we like ketchup. Ketchup is such a sugar trap. If you look on the back of ketchup bottles, there's several of them that are like half their serving is sugar. When you look at a serving size, some of them can have up to half that serving size being pure sugar. And a lot of ketchups and barbecue sauces and those things, the first ingredient or the second or third might be high fructose corn syrup. We don't need that. Find a ketchup that is not sugary, not sweet. So here's a few options for ketchup. Primal Kitchen. And there's actually, I think this is fairly new. Heinz has a no sugar added. So if you like Heinz, you might try that one. Now, I have not read the rest of that label. I didn't take time to do that before I did this video. And there's True Made and G. Hughes. Those, I think, are brands that you can find several stores. So yeah, watch that ketchup and barbecue sauce. So on spaghetti sauce, another one, a lot of people like spaghetti sauce. And that's another product that has so much sugar hidden in it. And that's the danger we find when we go shopping, is because all these products have sugar added to them. So you have to take the time. And I'm not going to tell anybody they need to take a day and just learn all their products, because nobody can do that. We don't have time for that. But every time you go shopping, pick one item that you're going to swap. Like the first week, it might be ketchup. Find a good, no sugar added ketchup. Take it home, use that, decide if you like that brand. And then the next week, maybe try peanut butter. Find a good brand of peanut butter. The next time you go shopping, try barbecue sauce and read the labels carefully so that you can learn which ones are good and which ones are not. And then once you find a good brand, then you don't have to think about it anymore. You just go pick up that brand every time you go shopping. But spaghetti sauce. So Rouse is in pretty much, well, all the stores I go to, it's in there. And there's one called Yo Mama's. So, take a little bit of time, but Rouse is good. I like Rouse. And they have different flavors. So I like using that, and I'll get a gluten-free spaghetti. And it tastes wonderful. I enjoy it immensely. So anyway, that was just a few swaps. Can't talk today. But hopefully that encourages y'all to try to think about the sugar that you're getting in, how much sugar is added to your products. And so the main thing is just becoming aware. Once you become aware, and kind of like I mentioned that pop can a while ago, if men are recommended to only have up to 9, like no more than 9 teaspoons of sugar per day, and a can of Mountain Dew can have 11 to 12 teaspoons of sugar in them, I mean, what does that tell you? Most men drink more than 1 can of pop. And just think of the damage you're doing if you give your child a can of pop. A child should have even less than the women. So people just aren't always aware of the damage that it's doing. And I didn't really talk about this a little bit ago, and I'm going to try to hurry and get off here, but um, sugar is called an anti-nutrient. So not only is it harmful, there's no there's nothing good in added sugar. There's no profit to our health in sugar. So not only that, but it also blocks our cells from receiving nutrients that they need. And I put this, I think, in my blog as well, but it's kind of like when you think of a clogged up drain. When there's a clogged up drain, that's kind of a yucky analogy, but when the drain is clogged up, you can't, nothing else will go down it. I mean, it just kind of sits there and floats and it's nasty. Well, like I said, that's kind of a nasty analogy, but that's kind of the same concept. So if your cells are clogged and coated and just covered with sugar molecules, then your magnesium can't get in the cells. Your vitamin B can't get in the cells. Your all the other nutrients that you need cannot get into the cells because they're blocked. So that's what I mean by sugar is an anti-nutrient. So, people that are drinking all that sweet tea, drinking the pops, drinking whatever else they drink, the sports drinks. I mean, you are overloading your boat and your body is frantically trying to bail out the sugar and it's not doing very well. So if you have fatigue, bloating, if you have headaches, if you have foggy thinking, if you feel just blah, if you feel tired all the time, it very well could be all the sugar. It very well could be all the sugar that you're eating. And sometimes when our body feels like that, if we could just get a good cold drink of water, pure, clean water, that makes all the difference. I mean, sometimes a headache comes just because you're needing a good drink of water. And tea won't cut it. Kool-Aid won't cut it. Oh my goodness, don't get me started on Kool-Aid. But yeah, it won't work. It won't work. You've got to have that good, clean water. So anyway, I've rambled long enough, but I wanted to get on here and just remind you to watch your sugar. Keep it low as you possibly can, and your body will thank you for it. You'll feel so much better. Your energy will be improved. Your mood will be improved. Your thinking will be improved. Everything will be better. So yeah, I just hope all of you have a wonderful day. And until next time, enjoy God's providence.